Oh, hey there. I didn't know we were going to be that kind of a video. Whoa, sorry. So, welcome to yet another episode of John Works Too Much. My friend Kevin Dunlap is amazing, and he asked us to come out and work on this job. Is that right?
It's mostly right, yes.
It's at least 27% right.
Accurate.
All right, so what we're going to do, first of all, we were talking about this earlier. How is it that stadiums get so hot even though they're filled with so many fans?
Because body heat.
But they're fans.
Yes, but they don't spin.
But they're
Fans only put off air when they...
I just now, I'm 48 years old, and today I realized that fan is short for fanatic, not like a fan like that. That's embarrassing. Okay, so what we're going to do, see where this black line is here? We're going to cut this wall out. All the way over here. That will now be gone. Open concept. We do a lot of these. Okay, we're going to have to move some wiring over here. We're going to have to move some wiring over here. See where the black line is on the ground? We're going to put an island in here. It's going to have a stove and a microwave, which means we've got to jackhammer down underneath the concrete and put wiring down there. We're also going to take all of these cabinets out and put in all new cabinets and granite and quartz and all kinds of things. We're going to lay a whole new floor all the way through here. It's going to be beautiful. This right here, this little inset thing, that will be flat. We're going to put several can lights in here, different light there, different light over here. Anything else? Barn door? Oh, and a barn door over here. We're going to have to move some wire over there. We'll have our electrician work on all that because God knows I'm not qualified to do any of this stuff, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely not. So I do want to talk about the importance of relationships even when you think that it's not important, okay? Let me tell you a little story. Back when probably like 94, okay? Brooke,
You were 94?
I was 94. You remember 94, right, Brooke?
Mm-hmm.
How old were you then?
6.
You were 6 in 94? I didn't realize you were
I
that old.
started kindergarten in 94.
Wow. So, well, back in 94, I was 21. So, I had started my company like the year before, and we were a little bit slow. It was around Christmas time, we were a little bit slow. And I was like, when I walk through Home Depot, and it still happens today, people go, hey, where do you keep your whatever? And I'm like, well, I keep mine in my truck, but I don't actually work here, but it's over here. And people constantly ask me things, and I'm like, okay, well, your answer is over here. So they used to have, this was pre-internet days, they used to have a big book, and everybody put their business cards in there, and you could go over to Home Depot and walk in and go, I'm looking for a plumber, or I'm looking for a carpenter, or whatever. And so I just wanted to put some cards in there so I could hustle up some business, right? That's all I wanted to do.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, because I was like, I needed some work. This guy in front of me is very methodically like looking through every single card and then like turning the page. I'm standing like you are, like, and he's methodically like, And after a while, I mean, like, whatever it was, 27 minutes or something, I'm like, what is it you're looking for? Can I help you? And he goes, I need somebody to build me a window seat. And a window seat, in case you don't know, is a very, very small job.
Yes.
We would consider that to be kind of a waste of our time. Right? And I'm like, man, I'll help you out. How far away do you live? And it turns out he was right around the corner. I was like, I'll help you out with the window seat. And so I did it, and it was like $300. And I'm like, cool, man, it was nice meeting you. I'm glad I could help, whatever. Here's my card, have a good day. And off I go. Unbeknownst to me, he was the president of the Homeowners Association in a pretty nice neighborhood. And then he was like, hey, as long as you're here, would you mind looking at this and 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 this? And I was like, okay. And I did $20,000 worth of work or something. And then I was like, well, and I was young and dumb and didn't understand money at the time. And I was like, I guess that's all the money he's all ever spent because, $20,000 is a lot of money. And off I went. He called me back 2 weeks later. Hey, I got this job and this job and this job. I'm like, you have more money behind the $20,000? Right, it was mind-blowing. So then I did that. Well, it turns out he was the president of the Homeowners Association. So he tells everybody in the neighborhood, y'all need new fences, y'all need new paint, use this guy. I don't know how much money I made, hundreds of thousands of dollars off of this, because one time I was like, yeah, I'll help you out with a $300 job. And that is one example of thousands of examples of times where I was like, this probably won't benefit me at all, but I'm glad I can help you out. And then later on, I'm like, oh, it turns out that's a really important person, and they're really nice, and I'm glad to have them as friends. And still to this day, I'm friends with that guy. And I just think that relationships are very important, and all these people are like, what's in it for me? And that attitude of like, well, I'm not going to do that because I ain't making no money off of it or whatever. I'm like, you, sir, will be sad and miserable and alone. And then the people are like, I'll help you out even if I'm not making anything, usually get blessed beyond measure. Have you noticed that in your life ever?
It reminds me of a time that when I was first dating my wife, I made her a sandwich, and now I've literally made her hundreds of sandwiches.
This is a good correlation. I'm glad, I'm glad that you can tell everybody the difference. This also reminds me of a time where I fixed a toilet one time, and now I fixed tens of thousands of toilets.
Is that an exaggeration at all? Or
It's actually not. Like, I fixed so many toilets. It's
we're gonna do
ridiculous.
the math on that later.
Yeah, it's tens of thousands. It's ridiculous. Anyway, hope you're having a wonderful day. We're going to tear it up because that's what we do. So we're about to knock a hole in this wall. And the way that we do that is I get a laser. And I don't know if you guys have one of these, but it's a very precise laser. And I'm like, I mark it out. I'm like, okay, that's that. And then, like magic, the wall will just come down. I see if this works. What in the... Is that the Kool-Aid man? Oh.
Hey, I've been trying to reach you about your cars. You've seen
Well played. Okay, so there's Kevin. He's awesome. He was on that. That was truly amazing. All right, so decades ago, the first church I ever went to, I went there, and this lady said, John, God is preparing us for heaven. And I'm like, yeah, of course. And she's like, no. With relationships. It matters that you have relationships now that are going to last forever because eternity starts now. So start building these relationships now that when you get to heaven, you don't look around like, oh, sorry, I was really mean to you. I probably don't want to hang out with you at all. But everybody you meet there, you're like, I'm so glad to see you. Like, I'm so happy, whatever. So think about that the next time you're like, I'm going to be a douche to somebody. Don't. Just think, maybe I won't screw them over. Instead, I'm going to be friends with them like I'm going to live with them forever because you will. All right, where did we go? So I've talked about circuits and how they work a lot, and I think that probably when I say things, you guys are like, I don't know what you mean, John, those are big words. I want to show you in real life. Okay, so this wire is coming from a breaker box, and it goes to that outlet, right? But then it comes back out here, and it goes to that outlet, and it goes from there up back out to somewhere else. I'm assuming over there to these switches. So you got a wire that comes in the top power, and a wire that goes out the top power that goes to the next thing. But then also one wire goes up to the fan, and one wire goes up to this, whatever is going to be there. And that's how that works. So that's how a circuit works, right? It comes from the breaker box to an outlet, to another outlet, to another outlet, to a switch or whatever. So that's one circuit. But a kitchen, by code, has to have at least two circuits, right? So this is one circuit that goes bang, bang, and then up. This is another circuit that just comes down and back up. This is another circuit that comes down to this one, and then over to here, and then back over to this, right? And then this is thicker wire. So this is 10 gauge wire, this is 30 amp, and this is for the stove. Right? So what we're gonna have to do on this is, where this is, we're gonna put what's called a king stud. So imagine that this is a king stud, right? It goes all the way up to the header. And then we're going to have another one next to it called a jack stud. We're going to double jack stud that because this is a long span. And then we'll put our beam on top of that, and that'll take the weight. We'll temporarily support the ceiling, and then we'll put the beam in, and then we'll relax this, and it'll just settle on. But first we have to get all these wires out. But then we have to come, because we're putting an island in, we have to jackhammer through, and then put wires down underneath there. So that is that. Have you guys heard about that new movie coming out? It's called Constipation. Brooke, you heard of it? Yeah, it didn't come out yet. A lot of you guys are like, I wish I had some new cabinets, and yet you don't. But maybe you would like some new to you cabinets. Never fear. Do you see these cabinets? They're beautiful, just not as new as they could be. Anyway, we're going to take these out with care. I don't know if you can see out the window, but we got the other ones from this side. These are free. Come get them. Get in touch with me. We're in North Richland Hills. Come take them for free. Otherwise, they will be burned or taken to their permanent resting place at the dump in Little Cabinet Heaven. We don't want that. You guys need some cabinets? Come get them. Even if you're like, it doesn't exactly fit my kitchen, make it fit your kitchen. If you're living in a place and you're like, my cabinets are falling apart, I just wish that somebody would bless me with some cabinets, here you go, for free. It's my favorite four-letter F word, is free. Take them. Get in touch with me now. Hello. We today, if you recall, took out this wall, and it was filled with all kinds of wires. But we took out the wires, and we put them in the right place, and now stuff works. Like this switch right here. Let's see if it works. Oh my goodness! This one still doesn't have a light, so we're gonna not, oh my goodness, that one. But there's still some plumbing. We have a jackhammer down below there, and get it. But tomorrow, and we cased all the opening, we put the beam in, and that's good and solid, not going anywhere, which is great. Tomorrow we're gonna take out these cabinets right here, and then we're gonna jackhammer and bring wires over for the island, for the stove and for the microwave, and put in new cabinets, and put in some plumbing for the fridge, and then we're gonna start laying laminate. So that's really exciting. I really can't wait. Brooke, you got anything you wanna talk about? She says yes. She says yes. So I found out recently that dentists are the proctologists of the mouth. That's a little weird, isn't it? I feel like that's weird. All right, so I say a lot of profound things, but right now I'm going to say some things that are less profound. Like, I don't know. Indecision is something I have a really hard time committing to. All right, have a good night. Hello. I'm sorry that I have not posted any videos the last couple of days, but whatever, I have. So if you remember, we took this wall and cut a big opening here, almost a 20-foot wide opening. And then we put in a beam, and then we sheetrocked that, tape embedded it. Then we filled this hole in over here. We added these lights. We still need to do some tape embed work. We had to move Alice switches to the other side. We moved some switches over here, power kind of all over the place. We put in these cabinets. They're Ikea cabinets. I highly recommend that you don't get them. They're expensive and a real hassle. Nevertheless, we'll lay this laminate. And then we've got some more work to do. But I want to talk to you about something very important. So this is about learning your lesson. You can learn your lesson the easy way or the hard way, right? Now, I think that a lot of times God comes to us and he says, hey, don't do that. You're like, how come? And it's like, because you'll hurt yourself and because I said so. Like parents do this. They're like, because I said so. You don't know me. You're not the boss of me. You can't tell me what to do. I'll put my hand on the stove, right? And then the parent slaps you before you touch it because that's going to hurt. It's a bad habit to get into. And I think God lets us make our mistakes in a small room where the consequences aren't that big. Until finally, like, we will not learn because we're just so stupid and stubborn. And then the last teacher to enter the room is pain. And pain comes and goes, well, now you're going to learn. Now you're going to learn because you refuse to learn any other way. I'm going to spank you. I'm going to spank you hard so that you won't do this anymore. And if you still don't learn, then pain will come and bring another friend. And then you'll have pain and tragedy. And however much it takes until you finally learn your lesson so that you can be a good person, so that you can have a full life and not be living in a way that's hurting you. So, hope you're having a wonderful day. We're going to keep on laying some more floor and eventually get done. Love you guys. Bye. Hello. I hope that you guys are sleeping or doing something fun because it's Friday night. I'm still working because that's what I do. Anyway, I don't know if you guys remember, but this is a radical transformation on this house. So we cut this big hole in here and put this in and then made this whole thing wide open. We also put in all these floors, which is beautiful. We moved a bunch of wiring. We now have switches that work. Oh, look at that. It's amazing. We put in this island, which will have a stove and we'll have granite countertops. It's going to be pretty exciting because it's going to have a waterfall, which means it's going to come up and over and down the other side with granite, which is pretty cool. Come on over here. We've put in more lights that work. Does that one work? Oh, it does. We textured. This used to have a big, different kind of light up in there. We got rid of that. Washer, dryer, all down the hall, all new flooring everywhere. And we did it for way under budget. We had $4 million budgeted, and yet we did it for a lot less than that. And we had 7 years planned for this because it was a government job, but, we did it in 5 days. All right, so you guys are always looking for great deals, and I want to let you know that I have $1,500 worth of lumber here that I would let go for $1,250 right now, okay? Don't try to lowball me. I know what I've got. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm selling sawdust by the gram now. I've got little baggies of it, and it's like from Ikea, so you put the sawdust together and you make it in your own 2x4s, which, you know, hit me up because this is very important stuff and you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. This stuff is going up, I mean, fast. All right? Now, what did you want to talk about? Retirement. So here's something that I saw the other day. I thought this really struck me well. You guys are afraid to die because your treasure is here on earth. I am not afraid to die because my treasure is in heaven. And when I get there, I'm like, finally, this is what I've been wanting my entire life. All this garbage, you can have it. I don't want it. You can have it. Take it all. My empire dirt. Right? But anyway, so this job, we're not done, but we're done for now because Grant has to come in and do his things probably COVID. And once Grant comes in and put in a farm sink and stuff, we'll come back and put backsplash tile and touch-ups and paint and all kinds of things that we've done. So I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Do something fun. Love the people that you love because they may not be here forever. So you probably were like, I wonder what John's doing today. And you've probably thought about it a lot, like he's not posting anything. I'm so concerned, like did he die? And the answer is no, I didn't. But I was working on all this beautiful stuff. So what we did today is we put in all the cabinet hardware that you see. We got all this backsplash in. We got this sink and it works. And we got a garbage disposal in, which is great. We also got the stove in. We did a bunch of paint. We got more cabinet hardware. We got the dishwasher in. Huge, huge difference. So we are so very excited. Now, a lot of you guys don't realize this, but when I was much younger, I lived in Alaska for a while, and I built an igloo myself. And when I did, my friends were like, we should have a housewarming party. And I'm like, no, 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 no. And they did, and then I was homeless. It was a sad day for me. They meant well, right? But it didn't end good. So let me tell you another funny story. A lot of you realize that I've done a lot of big video. And so we were doing this big show, it was BlizzCon, and we were doing really cutting edge stuff, okay? So every hour or so, the owner of the company would come by and be like, you know, this huge celebrity or this, you know, multi-billionaire wants to see what you're doing. They'd be like, this is what John's doing, and this is what Walker's doing, and this is what Eric's doing, and, you know, pretty cool stuff, right? And they're like, yeah, man, cool, and then they go on their way. And by the time we were in show, it was pretty automated, so we kind of see out of the corner of our eye, he's bringing somebody over, we should pretend. So we like click buttons that didn't do anything, and, you know, like, whatever. So this guy's coming over here with the, I don't know who, and I'm pretending to do something and acting busy, like, oh yeah, nice to meet you, whatever. So he leaves, and then somebody goes, is that the guy from Tesla? And I'm like, I love Tesla, right? And so they're like, is that Elon Musk? And I'm like, I could have swore the singer's name was Jeff. And so then I'm like, is he the bass player or the drummer? Like, I've never even heard that name. Now, I'm stupid, okay? I just want to tell you that. So then I tell some friends back, I'm like, yeah, man, somebody from Tesla came by and, you know, was looking at what we were doing. I thought that was pretty cool. And they're like, oh, really? Was it Elon Musk? I'm like, yes? How do you know? Like, is he the drummer? And I'm thinking in my head, like, how do you guys know all this? So I told my son about it. Same thing. I was at Elon Musk. I'm like, yeah? How do you know who the drummer for Tesla is? So then I'm looking at Facebook, and there's a quote. I'm like, oh, I met that guy. That's Elon Musk. I'm like, I wonder if he's the drummer or the bass player. And I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. So that's how I met Elon Musk. I hope you guys are having a wonderful night. I hope they love their kitchen, and that it's wonderful for them for many, many years. And see you tomorrow.